You know, I'm realizing now that I'm slowly becoming a channel that covers horror games. Aside from this video, some other future videos I'm doing are funnily enough horror related. Well, might as well take advantage of that. Today's topic is the newest hit indie horror game, Garten of BanBan. Created by the Euphoric brothers, Garten of BanBan was first released with almost no attention whatsoever. Until literal meme callback that dates way back in early memification, the game became so popular it's literally nowadays a meme. When I first heard about this game, I didn't really care to know about it or even play it at least. However, recently my friend and I saw some reviews about the game. Shout out to the Steam reviews, you gotta be the funniest people out there. This sparked us to play the first two chapters and then the third chapter once it was released. And oh boy, was it a wild ride to experience Garten of BanBan. I should give a bit of a warning beforehand. This is a horror game, even if it's not that scary and it's actually more goofy. There's still jump scares, loud sounds, flashing lights, and so on, so this is your warning. Also, please don't go and threaten or even harass the creators and devs of this game. So with that out of the way, let's move on to indie horror Garten of BanBan, brah. An important aspect of any game is the gameplay itself, what the player has to do to progress in the game. While the game has to be controlled by the player, the mechanics or controls the game gives you are a bit lackluster. To begin with, the main mechanic of the game is this drone we find in the first chapter at the first few seconds of the game. At first, it seems broken, but with two simple batteries, we are able to fix the drone and control it. But you may ask yourself, how do we control it? Well, like left-clicking the mouse, it will move it from one side to another, that's it. You could ask yourself, what else does it do? Nothing. That's it. I mean, there's nothing else. You just hit a button and it just goes somewhere. That's it. I mean, it could smash windows, only yellow ones to be specific, but it's just a drone. You just press buttons and that's it. So I know that the drone's mechanic is to keep it simple, but if you give it to the player for the rest of the game, wouldn't it be expected to do a lot more than just have that simple purpose? Meanwhile, we have the other mechanic of the game. Well, another one in quotations because it really isn't a mechanic throughout the whole game. So throughout the game you actually collect these key cards and they're color coded in order to actually progress through the game. And to get these you must complete minigames, which I should also talk about to give you what the actual gameplay of this game is. The minigames in this game are decent to say the least. However, the problem with these minigames is that they all, or I guess most of them, have the same pattern whatsoever. The example, or the majority, is it involves players to collect something and bring it back somewhere, which is very repetitive and somewhat boring to keep doing over and over again. There are only two games that don't follow this formula, and both are in actually the latest chapter, which is some type of improvement. One of them has the player do surgery on a character. It still has to collect something and bring it to the character, but it has some creativity whatsoever, unlike the other minigames. And, well, there's the other one that's a race, which, it's just a race, and that's it. It has its own mechanic, but it's just a race. We could move on to the story, but I can't just move on without talking about the characters. I mean, that's the whole main thing of the game. It's a horror game, and you're supposed to try and get away from these characters. So, let me introduce you to what I would say is the circus instead of this kindergarten. We have Barb, the one that made this game blow up. I'm Jumbo Josh Brah, the whole meme. The guy whose name is on the game, aka the most boring antagonist I've seen and heard. His girlfriend, for the love of God, don't you dare. Squidward, the most mixed character who I don't understand at all. Anti-BanBan, the weird spider thing, and his anti-girlfriend, which, again, don't you dare. The sheriff, I don't know, I thought I could think of something funny to say, but we haven't seen anything from him yet. The snail house knockoff, no way, that snail is fast by the way. And of course the abominations. which, let's just move on from them. These are the cast of the endless kindergarten, nope, actually, I mean circus that no one escapes from. Except for probably the protagonist, because it's any game, so. Alright, I'm gonna put a warning over here and say that I have almost no knowledge whatsoever about this game. The lore is everywhere, and I have no idea where it's heading, so this will be more of an abridged and meme version of the story. Here is your final warning. Alright, good? Well then, this is a story of Jumbo Josh. Nope, wrong character. So we have these characters who are like characters from the kindergarten, and they sold the devil, so they sold the souls to the devil. The devil was like, I want to make these characters evil now. They're on a rampage in the kindergarten. Ooh, oh my god, 2 children to take care of, and now they're stuck in the kindergarten. Oh my god, oh crap, oh my god. Then one of these kids saw another kid, and then, ooh, I'm gonna riz myself up, I'm gonna save that endangered kid. So the kid now saved the kid, and but they were actually saved by this orange Squidward thing, and they put it somewhere safe. Then the kindergarten closes, it's not open anymore, and then the protagonist is like, well, actually, I'm the father or mother of this. I don't really know, I might be also non-binary, but I don't really know about that anyways. So, you know, they go inside, and they see that, oh no, I've trapped myself. All these mascots are going for me. So, I have to now do puzzles, and I have to go through these long hallways, and then deeper and deeper in the kindergarten, and oh no, I'm now stuck in this chapter because I have to wait until the next chapter comes out. And that's probably it, I don't know. Look, I'm probably wrong, but if you look at the papers and the drawings that the kids have made, it shows you that on one side there's the process of demonization, not to be confused with demonetization. Look, I'm not the guy who's gonna be solving the lore. You could look at MapCat, maybe, I don't know if he'll solve the lore or anything like that, but I have no idea what I'm doing. I've talked about the gameplay, and I've also talked about the lore. What else can I talk about this game? Oh. Well, I guess I could take a shot at it. Unironically, there are people who do like this game. I'm not talking about the memers. I'll say this, everyone has their opinion about the game, and I'm not here to ruin anyone's days or anything else. If you do like this game, and you have no worries about it, then fine by me. However, I do have to say something in general about recent mascot horror games, which are targeting younger generations. Indie horror games today aren't like what they were. And I know that things do change from time to time, and that times where the golden age of horror past is no longer here. So, of course, games do change for the better or for the worse, no matter what happens. But with that being said, Garten of BanBan, you're the silliest infinity of them all, dog. I mean, just look at any Steam review and you'll see some crazy joke that they will write and either recommend it or not, no matter what. The game is silly, and a lot of people don't take it seriously. I mean, some of the things in the game are just silly and hard to take seriously. Every new chapter that comes always has at least one meme about a character, like Jumbo Josh Brah or Bird Up, and many others. Except for BanBan, aside from that part, there have been some more creative and positive things that have been happening in this community. For example, Reincarnated, created by Unique Geese, a game that takes the same story from Garten of BanBan but with different minigames, different art, and a new spin on the characters, among many other things. Reincarnated has taken quite the traction, being noticed by bigger creators like Game Theory, Pyrocynical, and many others. Additionally, just like any other new game that comes out, fan art is shown across multiple platforms, which sometimes works for the best. However, Garten of BanBan is probably the most neutral and silly fandom I have probably seen in my time. Garten of BanBan has made its claim to be one of the most mixed indie horror games to this day. Most people who have played the game have either given their thoughts on how to improve the game by giving critiques, while there are some others who are very mischievous and have said unforgivable things to the creators. But with that said, the creators have also done and said multiple interesting things. I would tell you, but the content is somewhat explicit to say, and I don't think I can afford it something like that on my channel. But one thing to know is that they have started to accept actual criticism. Chapter 3 did have something that accepted some of the criticism, and I believe that they are improving for future chapters. Now, throughout the video, I've been talking about Garten of BanBan and I've given my own thoughts about it. I understand that there are a lot of people with different opinions, and maybe some of you don't want my opinion alone. So, I've invited a close friend of mine who went through the whole game with me, seeing every bit and piece of it. Let me introduce you, or well, he has been already in other past videos, Titan Mike. I'll be giving him an interview about his experience of the game. So enjoy what he has to say about Jumbo Josh Brah. Crap, no, not that again. Oh boy, alright. So welcome to the interview, guys. Today I have with one of my friends who went along the way, and we went through the tour, the journey of what is Garten of BanBan in general. If you would like to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Mike, and I'm one of the victims of Garten of BanBan.
The victims, baby. Let's go. So,
Yeah.
the first question is, what were your initial thoughts on Garten of BanBan the first time?
Well, while playing the first game, I had high hopes because it is a very simple topic. It is a scare game where you're apparently a mother. You get very little detail on who you can assume you're a parent of a child in daycare. The first game is very straightforward, and I had very high hopes over the first game. It left me an impact, and like I wanted to play more of this game because I was like, wow, it captivated me because of the small little details, small little puzzles, especially the main antagonist of the first game, which was a Pila bird. Then after that game ended, I it was left like I wanted to play it. I wanted to play more of it.
Your second question would be, what was the reason that got you hooked into Garten of BanBan that made you want to play more of the game?
Well, honestly, it was kind of you, but at the
Oh,
same time, I do like an intriguing story. I love a story driven game that is a plot and that you are playing the point of view of a character. That's just I really love story games which have that type of element.
at the end of all the three chapters, what were your thoughts now?
Well, I have my reserved thoughts. I'm not speaking for. I really like the first two games. I feel like the standpoint of those were very good, very solid. The story, at least in the first two, was consistent. Then in the third, I did not like it. I felt like the producers or the makers of the game try to over complicate it because of the Steam rule that if you play a game for over 2 hours, you cannot refund it.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was a trend that in the first two games, people just played it, refunded it when they tried to do under less than 2 hours,
Mm-hmm.
and that they tried to do that in the second one. I will give it to them; it was fair in the second one, but in the third one, it was just a very, very lengthy game, which some of these parts were just blatantly unnecessary, and it just made the runtime go over. My one might say 2 hour 30 minutes or maybe even 3 hours at most because some key points were just complicated. It was complicated at best. Some of the voice acting just made it worse because of some uninterested voices. And I'm not saying they did a bad job at game in and of itself, but I feel like they could have done a better job in the third game, and I hope they fix all those mistakes in the fourth game.
The fourth and final question, I would say, what, if you could give any type of criticism to the game or to the devs, what would it be?
Mostly I would like aspect of the original story to be more dove in rather than each of the game tries to harness each of the not animatronics, but mascots. I feel like if we go too deep into their stories, we forget the legitimate reason we started, or at least the main character started, is a parent. I would like to delve more into us, the character, the parent, and how they're dealing with the grief of losing their child, or possibly losing their child, or trying to find out what really is happening in the story and the actual building of the kindergarten.
So yeah.
Yes.
Anyways, that was pretty much all the questions that I have. Hope everybody here watching the video learned a little bit more about our insights on what we thought about Garten of BanBan. So
Yes.
without further ado, we'll be continuing on to our final thoughts, or I guess my final thoughts on the video. So, we come across the end of this video. This video was a ton of fun to make. I already said in the beginning of the video, but horror is my favorite genre, especially in horror. Coming across Garten of BanBan was very interesting, and the game has a lot of potential to be great, but it's hard when you can't seem to find a solution for everyone to enjoy. I hope that the Euphoric Brothers take a break, or maybe take more time between chapters to polish the game better and take that criticism that players have given. So, with Garten of BanBan done, I'll be taking my leave and waiting for the next chapter to come out. Yeah. I mean, Garten of BanBan has some lore of it. We don't know
Yes.
what the lore is, but there is lore.
Yeah, there is.
I don't really like. I tried to give my own take. The video I already showed in the video what my take was on the lore. But I just was like, you know what? Let's just leave it to MatPat, maybe somebody else to do the lore, really, because like genuinely, I don't know what the lore is. Am I done? All right. Who here was the one who put all the jumbo Joshes? I swear to God, I'm gonna get you.